All right, everyone, it's your boy Genius out at the range today. I have the Taurus GX2. I'll try to keep this video short and sweet. I will not be shooting this. Sorry about that, but I always put up an initial range, tabletop, first thoughts kind of review, 125, 150 rounds, and then I just kind of put it out there and listen to the people, see what they say. What are their comments? What are their questions? What are their concerns? And then I try to come back out with the intention of addressing those concerns if at all possible, right? So that's what this is today. So I put up the initial review. I said I really liked, or was shocked, should I say, at how well I was able to perform with the pistol, it being $250. Now, some people, a couple of people started, then it's like people jumped on like pack animals. This dude's out here putting on a pedestal this $250 POS from Taurus, and he was trashing the RXM. Let's get something straight. I never trashed the RXM. I put 500 flawless rounds through that gun. If I had disdain for Ruger or for the RSM, or RXM, I totally could have made that gun fail on camera. 100% I could have done that, but I did not, because I don't have disdain for Ruger. 3 grandbabies, one still in the wound. As I've already said, all 3 of them received, when they become of age, already purchased a Ruger 1022. Ruger LC 45 carbine, one of my favorite Rugers. Ruger revolvers, the LCR-X 357 snub nose, one of my favorite, if not one of the best snub nose revolvers I've ever owned. I do not have disdain for Ruger, and I have no issue or hatred for the brand in general. I just didn't appreciate what they done by copying foreign gun manufacturers, and that was my only beef with the gun, other than the fact that the texturing on the grip was horrible. The ergonomics and the texturing on the grip of this gun is way better, although I did not put this gun on a pedestal. I said the trigger was weird, the finish is horrible, and the barrel looked cheap. I said all of those things in the initial video, right? So I don't know how I put it on a pedestal, other than I was shocked with its performance and how well I was able to shoot with it, and it having no malfunctions. Why? Because I had very little expectations of it doing great out at the range, okay? I held Ruger personally to a higher standard, right? That's just me, okay? If you're a big brother or you're a big sister, did you ever get in trouble or have to answer for something that your little sister or brother did? I'm sure you did. And what'd your mama say? I expected more from you, right? I expected more from Ruger, and I was disappointed with what they did. That's just my opinion. I don't like the gun, okay? Are there things about it I don't like other than the fact that they clone things? Sure. I didn't like the grip. I didn't like the color. Didn't like the ergonomics of it, nor the stippling on it at all, right? Didn't like the sight setup on it, although it was optic ready, so that kind of negates that, right? But I expected more from them. I did not expect very much from this gun, okay? So some of the concerns that people had, they said that it had bad machining down on the inside. Well, my camera will not focus enough for me to try to prove any differently, but I personally do not see, comparing it to my GX4, comparing it to my G3, I personally don't see anything that I don't see in those guns. I don't see anything. Now, I know that there's been some people, and I'm not trying to dismiss what they said. If theirs had bad machining, it had bad machining. That's their experience. I don't see anything down on the fire control unit or the internals of this that would make me believe that this gun was built in any less quality of those, right? So that's one thing. The finish on the slide, people mentioned that. Yes, it is horrible. I guess when I dump it in some water at a later date, we will find out if it rusts or whatever. I don't know. And they also mentioned the magazines, the fact that they were not made by Metcar, they were made in Brazil by Taurus, and they said something. Listen, I'm not a welder. I'm not a metal fabricator. It's very cold out here. It's 21 degrees. I'm not a metal fabricator, right? So I don't know how a weld is supposed to look, and I can only assume that they're talking about the weld down the center in between the witness holes here. I mean, to me, it looks normal. I mean, I don't see anything that looks abnormal, but they said that, you know, if you loaded up the mag and kept it loaded, that pressure or whatever would split it open. I don't know, but what I can promise you I will do is that I'm going to load these mags up and I'm going to leave them loaded until the next range visit. I plan on putting at least 1,000 rounds through this and even more. Also, I'm going to put it in some water, some mud, do a little bit of a torture test, if you will, and we'll see how it goes. It has not been cleaned, nor will it be cleaned, because none of the rest of them I reviewed were, so it needs to hold that and stand up to that standard. So I will address, I'm going to John Wick the magazines a little bit, throw them over there in the rocky ground right beside of me here, see how they hold up to some John Wicking, see how that goes, and we'll see what happens with the magazines. I don't know, but here's one thing that I do know. If I shoot this gun without cleaning it for 1,000 rounds or more, I dump it in water, I put it in some mud, I ran 124 through it already, 124 full metal jacket and 124 jacketed hollow point. I'm gonna put some 147 through it in the next video I do. If it does all of that right for 1,000 or more rounds without an issue, then there's no question in my mind, none, that for the average buyer, probably 75 or 80%, I don't think that's too high of a number, for the average buyer that goes into the store, buys a gun and an Uncle Mike holster, takes a box of 50 Winchester white box into the range, shoots it through there, gets the cute little Hornady with the red tips on them, loads it up and puts it in their Uncle Mike and walks around like they're ready for the bad guy. It's going to be great for them, for the average shooter that's never going to not clean their guns, to not oil their guns. They're never going to probably put 1,500 rounds through that gun in their life. It's going to serve them well. So why people hate, now I understand if you're a shooter, if you come out and put as many rounds through it as I do, is it the build of a CZ, H&K, all of those things? Of course not. Of course not. But this channel and what I'm trying to do and review is for everyone. Those that can afford the higher end stuff and those that need to get some lower end stuff to defend their family, because that's what everybody needs to do. So just wanted to do this little short video in front of doing another range video on this, which will be up next, right? And thanks so much for watching. Be sure you know Jesus Christ is your Savior. Check out the flannel shirt that I'm wearing. I'll put a link up to it. The folks sent me this. I actually really, really like it a lot. It's more of a jacket than a shirt. And you can scan the QR code and help support the people that support me. They sent me this to wear on camera. Yes, it's kind of advertisement for them, but they're supporting me nonetheless. So support the people that support me. Same with Tacticon, the Predator V4, V3. Those have been great optics. Fox Army, CV Life, the folks that support me, support them. You have my word, they've been great optics and great clothing for me. Iron Infidel, go over and check those guys out as well. They got good equipment over there. And again, thanks for watching, and as always, to God be the glory.